Hi guys, my name is Inch,
And I'm average.
and this is the Average Inch Conversations podcast. And today we're going to be talking about, sexual equality and everything that comes with it, to like the pay gap, to equality of rights between men and women.
I'm just going to correct you there for the non-existent pay gap.
Non-existent pay gap.
Non-existent
I
pay
agree with you there, and that's what I want to first talk about is the pay gap thing, because there's a lot of people that still think in Western societies like in Britain and places like that, they still think it's a real thing.
Yeah, they do,
But
and it's absolutely shocking
It's
because it's just not.
it's just
It's
not
not a real
true.
thing.
It's just not true. Like, it's not true, and I'll tell you why. It's because the differences between men and women is what means they get like paid less or more. So what I mean by that is a lot of women will do part-time jobs instead of full-time jobs because they might have kids.
And it's
Things
even
like that.
then, exactly, like even in higher end jobs, but on average, the man will stay at the office to do longer hours than
Yeah.
the woman because the woman obviously have priorities with the family.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every woman prioritises the family over work, but the majority of women do.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
It mostly comes down to hours worked,
Yeah.
which on average men work more hours.
They do. It's not like we're being biased. Like, if you look up on the data, you can just Google it and look at all the statistics. Men tend to work longer hours, like you said, and they're more.
Exactly.
Not saying women aren't ambitious, but more men are ambitious career-wise.
I reckon it's mostly stay inside the office so I don't have to go home to the nagging wives.
They probably had enough. They're
110%.
like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what? My wife's gonna give me shit for staying out
Exactly.
last night drinking, so I'm just gonna fucking stay longer at the
Exactly,
office. Say I've
like-
got more work to do.
Exactly. Plus, another thing with this is if women generally got paid less than men, then surely, as a business structure, you wouldn't hire men because you'd be able to get away with paying less money towards women. Like, why? What's the point of hiring men?
Yeah,
Like, surely, right? If businesses were able to pay women less money, there'd be a lot more women working than men.
yeah,
Like, why would you pay? Like, on statistics, I think it's like 25% difference, 15% difference.
yeah.
in the
It's not.
pay
It's
thing.
it's
That's what they claim it is anyway.
Yeah.
However, like, surely you just hire more women instead of hiring men.
well, yeah.
That's what I would do if
that's-
I had my own
yeah.
business. And this wage gap was a real thing. I wouldn't have any men working for me at all. I'd have all women.
I think you're right there, because I mean, yeah, if they could get, like you said, if they could get away with paying women less, surely they would just hire the women because it would save them save the business money or whatever. But
Exactly.
it's not true. Whenever you see something about there's a wage gap and everything like that, they don't take into account the different working hours of men and women. They don't take
Exactly.
into account that women are more likely to stay at home because they want to look after their kids, which is
Exactly.
not a bad thing. Like, looking
Not a bad
after
thing at
kids,
all.
I haven't even got kids, but fuck, like, could you imagine having to look after like 3 fucking life forms? Like, fucking hell, so
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to do it.
No, I wouldn't want to. But this is sort of roles that women like to take on. Like, these are traditional roles that have always stuck throughout time.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not being horrible, but men and women are completely different in
We
their
are.
mindset. We're just wired differently. Like, and I think I heard someone say this before, and I do kind of believe it. It's because men don't really have a purpose in life. They're not born with a natural given purpose, whereas women do. They can create life,
Yeah.
and they more have like natural abilities to look after kids, and they're very obviously men.
Exactly.
Obviously, you get dads that are fantastic and things like that, but women naturally bond with their kid faster, and
They do.
and they're more likely to. Women are more caring, so they want more caring positions, especially if you've got kids. They want to spend every bit with them.
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm sure the dads do too, the ones that actually want kids and want to stay with their wives and have a family. But at the end of the day, I think most men realise that one of us has to be the one to go out and work hard for money to provide for the family.
Yeah.
Because if you've got, say you've got like 3 kids, right? You can't. One of you has to make a sacrifice of looking after them, and it's usually the woman, because
It's usually a woman.
because they're just more caring than
They're
men.
more nurturing.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing up the traditional roles here, like roles that have been usually filled with women. I mean, women, like, when was the last time you went to a nursery, like a little preschool, and you
Yeah.
saw a male working there?
I don't think I ever
You
have.
don't see it.
I don't
You
think I've
see
ever
it. It's
had.
mostly
Yeah.
women because they have a nurturing side to them.
Yeah.
Nurses and doctors, majority of them actually are women.
They're dominated by women. That
Exactly.
industry. They are.
Care homes, majority of them are women.
100%.
Because they're nurturing.
Do you know do you know when they hire people in caring homes, they favour women over men.
Exactly.
It's like it's like an unspoken sort of rule which they're not meant to do, but they do. Statistically, they favour women in the caring roles. Like if a man applies for a caring job and a woman applies for the same position, they're more likely to go for the woman over the man.
I'm not surprised.
But yet again, it's not just in caring. It happens in a lot of industries dominated by women, where women are just naturally better than men at it. But you don't see me kicking up a fuss saying, "Oh, that's disgusting." Like, because I understand. Because
Yeah, exactly.
men, obviously, you get men that are quite caring, and you do. I'm not saying they're non-existent, but I'm just saying the majority of people that are very nurturing and caring are women. It's just in their nature. Whereas men, biologically, we've got more testosterone in things, and that's a natural chemical that makes men, why it makes men so more aggressive and like a territorial, competitive.
as well. Yeah.
That it's just our natural makeup. It's just how we are, and we can't help it.
As much as
So-
people will not like to hear the statement, is reason why there are a lot of men in sort of CEO positions or higher up positions is because it's a very competitive field to get into.
Very, yeah.
It's highly competitive. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of fucking all sort of business deals going on. I mean, that's just who we are. That's just who we are. Men are designed to bring in the dough.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we are. We want to provide for the families. That's just how we are.
It's just nature. It's just how nature's created men and women. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
because before, you got to think our sort of mindsets date back to a time where we were like hunter-gatherers and things like that, where the man would go out and hunt and the woman would look after the children. And this is like it's just how our evolution has happened. It's because, biologically, men are like physically stronger. I'm not saying obviously you don't get women that are stronger than men. I'm just saying, like I said again, the majority of men
On
are
average,
built
men are stronger than women.
because our whole bodies and that are built
Exactly.
differently. And here's one example, if you don't believe me. The SAS, which is obviously the what does that stand for? SAS?
I have no idea what it
Something
stands for.
like. But anyway, they basically they opened up. They basically said women can now apply for the SAS,
Yeah.
and this happened a few years ago. So they've opened up that armed forces service to women to try, and women have tried to complete the training, but they physically can't. Like, they're not
Yeah.
because they don't make exceptions. Basically, they're saying you have to go through exactly what the men go through in your training in the SAS, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. And to this day, they opened it up a few years ago. To this day, not one woman has managed to pass it.
I'm not surprised. I think one of my favourite stories about this, about men and women being equal biologically, is a man started to identify as a woman,
Yeah.
and it was this wrestling competition, wasn't it? It was a
Oh, I think I've heard of
wrestling.
this. Yeah.
The man identified as a woman went into this women's wrestling competition, and he absolutely fucking annihilated them.
Yeah.
Absolutely destroyed them.
No surprise there, is there? Really?
I mean, let's think about this realistically. Why is there a men's section and a women's section in the Olympics?
Yeah. I mean,
Because if they had
it's
to
true.
face off against each other, it would just be completely unfair.
well, it's true. Could you imagine if say like a fighting sport like boxing? Could you imagine Mike Tyson, like fighting a female boxer? Could you imagine that? Like, have you seen Mike Tyson fight?
Yeah.
He's an animal. Like, I'm not being horrible, but a woman in the ring with him should probably be killed. Like, it's true.
No, it's
she
true,
probably
it's
would be
true.
killed. Like, because he is a fucking force to be reckoned. Like, he's like a brick wall.
Or even
Like, do
Anthony
you know what I mean?
Joshua today.
Oh my god,
One
yeah.
of the leading boxing titles. One of the leading boxing front men. If you put him up against the leading women's boxing title person, whoever that may be,
He would win.
who would win? Who do you think would win?
Do you know what I mean? If they actually did that and there was a whole thing where you could bet on it like any other fight, the odds would be against her.
Oh, massively.
100% on the betting. Like, if you went to bet, it would be like, yeah, the odds are completely against her. So, like, if you were to bet bet on her, and she actually somehow wins, you would be a fucking billionaire probably. Like, do you know what I mean? Because the odds will be completely against her, and they can't. And that's why that's never happened. That's why that's never going to happen. You're never going to see
Well,
a
Chris
woman.
Brown introduced
Chris
intergender boxing.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Chris
I mean,
Brown.
He asked
Fucking
Rihanna.
hell.
She lost that one.
Oh yeah, I think he kept his belt.
Yeah.
I think he managed to keep his title.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But it's just, I'm sorry, but it also boils. It's just what I'm saying. Men and women are two very different.
Yeah. Physically and mentally, we are.
We are
Yeah.
completely different. It's just, and when it comes to job roles and pay gaps and stuff like that, I mean, if you look at the data, it's just clear to see that women go for more nurturing, sort of that sort of side
Yeah.
of the job spectrum, when men go for a more competitive sort of side and
Yeah.
higher up and more risks and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't understand why people are sitting there and pretending this doesn't exist. Why are we sitting here and saying,
Don't know.
the pay gap is a real thing? It's just not.
It's just not. Not in this society anyway. Obviously, in like Eastern societies, there is a big problem there still. Obviously, because I mean, you know, there's some countries where women don't even have the right to go to work. In
Don't
some
even have
countries,
the right to drive.
or education.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that's a big problem, and we need to do things to sort that out. But like I said earlier, in countries like America or in Britain, or even European countries that are civilized and we've come a long way. We're in a democracy. There's not really any such thing other than the fact that obviously women tend to not work as long hours as men and things like this because of the family and things like that. I mean, there was one study. It was by Jordan Peterson. I watch him a lot because he
speaks facts.
He's
just straight out facts.
If you guys don't know who Jordan Peterson is, watch some of his lectures. He's a clinical psychologist, so this guy more than anyone knows about this sort of thing. And he was saying there was a study done about the wage gap and gender roles in jobs.
Yep.
Because this woman said to him that if we made it so women could apply for the same jobs as men, and we started advertising that women advertising or start advertisement campaigns against for women to join these roles that are dominated by men.
Yeah.
They were saying that they would be more likely to choose those job roles. But he was saying that no, that's not true, because in Scandinavia, a lot of the Scandinavian countries like I think it's Sweden especially.
Yeah, Sweden's
they-
like leading the progressive movement.
So they done that. They made all the job roles, and like they tried to push females to go for men's roles, and they tried to push men to go for more like female caring roles and things like that. And it turns out the more they tried to push that on them, the more the divide was.
Yeah.
The more that women decided to actually go for more caring and nurturing roles, and men went for more like, physical jobs, like labouring and things like that.
Actually, that's
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a
When's
real.
the
You
last
can look
time
it
you've
up.
seen a female on a construction site?
Never, you don't.
I've never seen one before.
And do you know what really fucks me off? There's nothing stopping women for applying for them jobs. There's nothing. There's
I don't
no.
get why they sit there and say that we can't go for these sort of job roles.
Yes, you can. Like you can.
We live in a society where everyone has an equal chance.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see true inequality, head over to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
We are one of the most progressive countries.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, but you're sitting there saying, "Oh, we're not progressive. It's like there's a load of equality over here and stuff like that." It's like, no, it's not. Like we're actually very much ahead of the game than other countries.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I'm actually going to go as far as to say that women, they actually get special treatment in this country.
But they do, yeah.
Think about divorces. Who gets half the money and all this jazz for women?
And even if
Who
they don't
takes
earn
the
a penny
kids?
of it, yeah.
Who takes the kids?
Majority is the
For
women. Yeah.
Majority is the women.
There was even a case about that where I think a woman it was about custody of their kids, and the woman or the wife, when they were getting a divorce and choosing who gets the kids and all that,
Yeah.
she I think she had like a drug problem, or there was something that was against her record, against her having the kids, but they still gave the kids to her even though the father had no record of violence, of criminal acts.
Yeah.
but she had something like that on hers, and they still gave the custody of the kids majority to her instead of the to the father, and that happens a lot. I think that was in this country actually that happened.
It happens a lot in this country and over in America.
It's just insane. I don't get that. I mean, and obviously I don't. I think the laws has changed now, but in the UK, especially with like driving as well, they
Yeah.
favour the women. Like when you go for your driving test, more women pass, and it's because of this whole boy racer stigma, which is
Yeah.
generalising all blokes, all men,
Yeah.
saying that all of us are going to pass our test and drive like a maniac and crash it, but that's not true. There's like a small minority of guys that do it. And basically, when you would say if like you were a man and you passed your driving test, so you've got no incidents, whatever, it's your first time getting your insurance and that, it'd be higher for you because you're a man.
Exactly.
Women's insurance is less, and I know that because I've got two sisters that both passed their driving test before me, and their insurance was. Obviously, it's still high for your first time, innit?
Yeah,
But it
it's
was
not
nothing.
quite as high.
Weren't as high as mine.
Yeah.
My mum couldn't believe it. Like when I was sitting down with my mum, like when I first passed my driving test and we were going through it, she couldn't believe it. She was like, "Bloody hell! Like that's so much for you." And I don't know if that's changed now, but yeah, but that's just one instance of how men do get it worse because of like, all the like generalisation of men.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's just not
But
right.
after hearing all of this, it's clear to see that clearly women get it a lot harder than men, don't
Oh,
they?
clearly, yeah, definitely.
Women are just so oppressive inside this country.
It's
Got
stupid.
nothing going for them. Oh god, it's
There's,
awful. Isn't
it just baffles my mind because like women are allowed to hit men and men are just meant to stand there
yeah.
and take it. Men are just meant to be hit by the female and just be like, okay, I can't do anything, just let her abuse me.
I'm
you know?
sorry, women, but if you want, well, actually, I'm saying if you want equal rights, you've already got it. Equal rights means equal fights.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. No, I'm sorry, that's equal rights.
I'm not being horrible, but like if like you see these videos of these, there's plenty of them circulating
Yeah.
online on Facebook and things. When a woman, you see these videos where these women they proper go
Yeah.
for it. They proper smack these blokes around the head and everything.
Yeah.
And the bloke's just standing there, not doing anything.
I saw this one video when this woman was attacking a man inside a bar.
Yeah.
Because apparently he was talking to another woman, like she was fucking going crazy, pushing him, punching him,
Yeah.
stuff like this. He was on the floor. And the second he got up and pushed her away from him, he got fucking bombarded by like fucking security and stuff like that.
It's so
The
wrong.
woman had nothing. The woman was absolutely fine. She got away scot free.
That's so
And
wrong.
the man was the one who got taken out by security.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
It's mental, isn't it?
It's just crazy. That's what I mean. Women do have more rights because even if it isn't like written down anywhere, it's still like it's still such a stigma. There was there was that. Remember Jeremy Kyle? There was an episode where this guy was on there and he was talking about how he had to like. I think it was like he got locked out onto his balcony because he
Yeah.
had a flat and he had to like jump down off like a. It was like a pretty big height. He
Yeah.
had to jump
Yeah,
off his
I remember
balcony
the
to
episode.
escape because
Yeah.
basically he would bloody starve because the woman locked him on his bloody balcony so he couldn't get into the flat. And obviously she just left him there. She didn't give a shit if he was gonna go hungry and shit like this. And and before that apparently she was like abusing him and he had all like bruises he showed people. And when he it was on the show and when he told the audience and that he had to jump down off the balcony and all this, they all started laughing at him.
Yeah, I know.
It was like it was like I sprained my ankle or I broke my leg or something jumping down and all this, and they all started laughing.
And then Jeremy Cole had to turn around and
Yeah.
remind him, like, if this was the opposite way
If it
around,
was a
you'd
woman-
be calling him an absolute monster
Exactly,
and stuff like this.
exactly. If it was a woman having to do that and she broke her leg jumping off a balcony because her husband locked her out on the balcony, there would be uproar. They'd be like, "Oh, fucking pigs, men are pigs,"
Yeah.
all this and that. But because it was a bloke, they all started bloody laughing at him, and I just think that's disgusting.
It's wrong, isn't it?
It's bloody awful. Like, I can't comprehend
I
it.
don't know why, but there's this like ideology that women can put men through hell, like
Yeah.
beat him and fucking stuff like that. And it's almost like it's a man's fault for not sticking up for himself and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fucking hell, like, come on. Like, if it was the opposite way round, yeah, again, it'd be a completely different story.
Yeah.
There was this, who was that woman that went all over the news for beating her boyfriend with a lamp?
Oh, that was Caroline Flack,
Caroline Flack.
who
yeah.
the presenter of Love Island.
Yeah, she fucking beat her boyfriend.
Yeah.
with a fucking lamp.
She
Blood everywhere.
she there was pictures of it.
Yeah.
Like she completely battered him with a lamp. There was blood all over the bed sheets and the
Yeah.
lamp. There was all the evidence there. That's
Yeah.
why all he did was get a restraining order from her. And I know, like, it was sad that she killed herself, because anyone who kills, it's very sad that they want to take their life.
It's always sad to lose
But-
a life.
And I'm not saying, but the thing that annoys me because sadly she took her own life, a lot of people ignored the fact of what she actually did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying like if a bloke did it and say he like abused his wife or something. I think there are some cases where this has happened. Like I'm sure if you looked it up, but like, if a bloke abused his wife like that, imagine if he battered her around the head with a lamp, and then he took his own life. So we're just going to forget about the fact that he beat his wife to near.
There'd be an uproar.
Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. But like I said, it's sad she took her own life, but you can't just excuse her because she killed herself from
No.
what she did to her boyfriend.
You can't
Do
sit
you know
there
what I
and
mean?
pretend that she's a perfect human being. And that wasn't even the first boyfriend she did to. I think there was another one before
Yeah,
that when she
yeah,
did it.
Yeah.
She was actually quite well known for attacking her boyfriend.
A few people came out
Yeah.
against her, didn't they? Saying
Yeah.
that she is abusive.
Yeah.
And she got discovered. I mean, the reason that she killed herself, and I think it was because of the media.
I think it was as well.
It was just it was just the media, that how they portrayed it and how they dealt with it. I think it wasn't fair. But there's nothing you can really do about that. But like I was saying, it's still not fair what she did to her boyfriend. And like I said, if the tables were turned and the bloke ended up killing himself, I bet you'd have people saying, "Well, fuck him, like he deserved
Yeah.
it. He should have killed himself," and blah blah blah.
Always comes back down to that sort of thing where women can't really do any sort of wrong
Yeah.
and men can. It's just like
It's
Yeah.
like another thing that really annoys me. It's like when men get falsely accused of rape.
women should go to jail.
I fully agree. I think women should go to jail for that, because it ruins men's lives. It actually
does.
Even if they come out and say, "Oh, it wasn't true," it still has tainted their lives.
Yeah.
And it's still ruined them. Like, you see it with celebrities, like male celebrities that have been falsely accused of rape because some woman wants money from them because she thinks she can get money off them.
Members of
ruins their
JLS
lives.
went through that.
Yeah,
I think it lasted for about 2 years.
yeah.
Till it got proven
That
he
she was
wasn't.
lying.
Yeah.
She admitted to lying about it.
Yeah.
And
it's mental, isn't it?
I think it's disgusting, because it's just as bad as saying it's just as bad as him actually raping someone, because it ruins his life.
You got to think about that. Like, imagine, like, you've gone out, you've had a one night stand with someone, and you wake up the next morning and it's just everywhere. Oh, fucking thingamabob's raped this woman, and all shouts. Like, that's not a thing that can get cleared up overnight.
God,
You've
no,
got to
no.
live with that.
Yeah, for the rest
Day
of
in,
your life.
day out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
that's
rest of your
awful.
life. You've got to go down the streets, probably people taking the piss out you,
People
saying
being
you're a
like, "Oh,
rapist.
There's that guy who raped
Yeah,
that girl,
yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's awful.
Because
Especially if it's false. If it's true, then okay, that's fair
Oh god,
play.
yeah. If it's true, then yeah,
fair
fully.
play. But if it's false, that's just absolutely disgusting.
And the thing is, and a lot of women have said, yeah, well, if you start saying that women should be punished for false accusations and blah blah blah, it will make less women want to come out with true rape allegations. I think, no, hang on a minute, that
Well,
ain't
no.
right, is it? Because if it actually happened to you, then you've got nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And there's been countless cases that I've like actual women that I've talked to, and some of them said they have been like their ex had sexually assaulted them and things like that. And what I say to them is, I'm like, well, did you go to the police? Like, did you
Yeah.
report this? That's what you should do. You should report it. And she was like, no, I didn't feel like there was any point in reporting it and things like that. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but if you don't even try and report the crime and things like this, there's nothing that's going to be done about it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You can't. I mean, I'm not being horrible. If I was sexually assaulted, the first thing I would do is go to the police. Do you know what I mean? I'd go straight to the police. They can get the DNA. They can have there's evidence and stuff like that. That's what I would do. But a lot of the women don't, and they say it's because they're scared and things like that, which is fair enough. If they're stuck in an abusive house and they can't really escape, fair enough. But for the ones where it happens and they've gotten away and things like that, and they still don't go to the police, and I'm baffled by that. I don't understand personally.
I think it's like you said, it's depends on the situation.
It
and
does
what the
depend.
woman
Yeah.
is in. I mean, actually, bringing it round, I actually know a man who's been raped by a woman, and he hasn't done anything about it
Yeah.
because he was just too shook up.
It's true.
Like, she was forcing herself on him,
Yeah,
and yeah,
that's
so
a tough one.
It's a bit of a tough one.
It is a
It's bit of
tough one.
It's just a bit like, I can understand that, and also with men, it's also like there's a stigma that men can't get raped.
Oh, that's the shittiest argument in the world, isn't
Exactly.
it? It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Of course, men can get raped. Like, of course they can. Like, I've heard of a guy who got raped at a party. I'm not going to name his name, but
Yeah,
I think
obviously,
we
yeah.
both know him. He was at a house party, and he was saying that he was so drunk he passed out, but this
Yeah.
woman was in bed with him, but he was
Yeah.
passed out, and apparently he woke up to her like straddling him.
Yeah.
So basically, he didn't
Yeah.
give consent, and the definition of rape is sexual conduct without consent, and
Yeah.
which is literally what she did. And he never went forward because I think with men it's like a stigma, isn't it? It's like, people just laugh at me because that's impossible. Men can't get raped and it's still a thing now. Like if you go on like all these far left feminists and all that, they're like men can't be raped. That's impossible, and it's just like that's so false.
The far left, Jesus Christ, they're a crazy bunch.
Yeah.
They really are.
It's disgusting. It's like when they say, men can't be oppressed, especially white males,
If
especially.
anything, I'm going to go as far as to say that white males are actually the most oppressed at the moment.
Yeah, because you can't have an opinion.
You can't have an opinion about anything.
There's
And if
been,
you do, you get called racist.
oh god, yeah, you get called racist, sexist, this,
Yeah.
that, and the other,
I know.
just for having an opinion about something. Even if you're not being hurtful, you're just telling the truth. You'll just get shut down and called
Exactly.
a racist or a Hitler equivalent and things like this.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You get
It's
it all the
absolute
time.
mental.
Oh yeah,
But then, obviously, like you just said, the far left are able to sit there and say, "Oh, men can't be raped" and stuff like that. If a white man was to turn around and go, "I'll tell you what, women can't be raped."
oh god,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ, the amount of backlash that will come through, it's absolutely mental. So it's just a little bit, it's very much tit for tat. It's just like, they expect to say all this outrageous shit,
yeah,
and they expect not to get any sort of hate or negativity back, or anyone to confront them with facts.
yeah,
As soon as facts and actual evidence is brought up,
yeah.
that's when it's like, oh, you're attacking me, you're saying all of this, oh, this is my freedom of speech and all this jazz. But as soon as the opposite sort of side says, actually, hang on, what you're saying is actually incorrect and is actually kind of, it's very wrong.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, don't you do that, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
It's crazy. For today, we live in a crazy world. Absolutely crazy.
We do the left feminists and all that is it's just ridiculous. Like, of course, men can be raped, and of course, men can be oppressed because it happens all the time. There's a statistic that says men actually suffer more domestic abuse than women do. Like statistically, more men get abused by women than men get abused by or women get abused by
Yeah.
men, and that's true. You can look it up, but nothing is there's not really any charities set up for it. Like I remember recently because of the whole coronavirus thing on the on TV there was an advert that came up, and it was in the title of the charity. It was something like Women's Helpline or something.
Yeah.
It had women's in the title, and it was for domestic abuse. Where's the helpline for men? Do you know what I mean?
There isn't.
And even though statistically it's been proven that men are more likely to be abused by their wives, and like more than women, but yet there's still no helpline for men.
No, it's
There
not.
probably is, but you don't. There probably is, obviously, but you just don't. There's no advertisement of it.
If
There's
there is,
nothing.
I certainly haven't heard of it.
I've never heard of one helpline directed at men.
No.
Because what man is going to call up, if it has women's in the name, what man's going to think, okay, I'll call a woman's helpline? Do you know what I mean? The first thing that enters their mind, be like, it's for women, I'm not going to do it. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get exactly what you
Because
mean.
if you've got women in the title, then it's clearly aimed at women.
Mm.
So men, I mean, obviously men probably could call it, but they wouldn't, because you've literally just aimed it at women.
It's just
It doesn't make any sense.
bringing it back is like to equality.
Yeah.
This is an instance where women get special treatment.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I said, statistically speaking, men get abused a lot more than
Yeah.
women do
Yeah, they do.
domestically. And all I see is, I'll go on social media and there'll be a couple posts being shared about, oh, if you're being trapped in an abusive relationship, obviously aimed at women, pictures of women
Yeah.
and stuff like this.
There's none of men, are there?
I'll just post this on your social media and I'll contact the authorities for you and stuff like this, or message me asking about I know fucking cupcakes and shit like this, and I'll contact the police on your behalf and stuff like this. And it's just like, wow, like where it's just so it's absolutely crazy. It's almost like a magnifying glass has been put over such a small minority to make it look so much bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah,
Like, that's
true.
just how it is these
Yeah.
days.
It's terrible, isn't it?
mental.
It's just mental. It's just stupid. I mean, it's clear as day. Women do get more rights than men. I'm
They get
sorry.
special treatment.
They do get special treatment, even if it's not written down in law. Women still get special treatment over men.
Divorce, custody of kids,
Yeah,
helplines.
more
fucking
men
stuff like that.
statistically kill themselves than women.
Yeah. More
Um,
men end up in prisons than women.
More men die through the work they do than women and things like that.
More
in
men are likely to fail in education than women.
True, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So where's the upper hand that men have? Where's that upper hand? I
Do you know
don't
what I
see
mean?
it.
And I mean, especially nowadays, like we said earlier, where now, especially if you're a white male and you have some sort of opinion on equality and things like that, you just get told to shut the fuck up. You
Yep.
just get told that your opinion's not valid because you have white privilege and you're white male privilege.
I hate
and,
that
and all
saying.
that, and all
Check
shit
your
like
privilege. Check your privilege. What the fuck does that even mean? Check your privilege.
that.
Like, I don't
Stupid.
understand. What does it fucking mean?
It's so stupid.
I don't get it. Check
There's-
your
there's-
privilege.
do you know what-
Where's the privilege?
Do you know what annoys me? They say that, yet there's white men homeless. There's
Yeah.
white veterans that have, when they've come out the army, are now homeless. There are white, like I said, there's white males kill themselves more than women do, and any sort of man, in fact, and like this, and obviously men are more likely to be locked up in prison for false accusations, all this stuff, right? That's statistically proven. Yet apparently we're the ones that have all the upper hand and we have the
Exactly.
privilege. It's not true.
Also, with the prison stuff, if a man and a woman was to go to court for the same sort of charges, a woman would get a lighter sentence.
Well, yeah,
110%.
this-
Where's the equality in that?
it's like when obviously they both should be charged, I think, for life personally if I had it my way. But like what I'm going to talk about is like paedophilia and things like that.
Oh yeah.
When there was, because I know for a fact when a man obviously wrongly does stuff with a child and obviously he's classed as a paedophile, he gets sentenced, and
Yep.
rightly so, he gets sentenced for a long period of time and he has to be on a register, everything
Yep.
like that, blah blah blah. Fair enough. But when a woman does it, and there was a case near our area where this school teacher, she was a female school teacher, and she had some sort of sexual relationship with
yes, I remember.
you know
this.
which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know this.
She got fuck all. She got like a few months of community service or something, and I think she got put on the register, but she didn't get like
She's not allowed to teach. for
yeah,
a certain
and
period
that
of
was it.
time now.
That's all
Yeah.
that happened to her. But when a man does it, rightly so, he gets the full breadth of the law. Like he gets put away for a long
He
time.
gets
All this.
slapped up by the
Basically,
law.
yeah.
Fuck me. He
But-
gets bent over and
so-
absolutely fucked.
So do you know what I mean? What's that about? Why aren't women getting the same treatment? Like when they've basically touched underage boys and stuff, why aren't they getting the same sentence? Do you know what I mean? Where's the logic in that? Where's the equality
There
in
is
that?
no logic.
Where's the
There is
equality?
no-
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's such
It
bullshit.
is absolute bullshit. Women, I don't understand. Yet again, I don't understand what they're fighting for.
I don't get it
fighting
either.
for like equal rights and stuff like that. Like as we've just established here, they actually get a lot of special treatment,
Yeah.
and I still have the fucking nerve to walk around and say, "Oh, equal rights. I want this. I want that. It's not fair. We're oppressed." Like, no, you're fucking not.
No, you're not.
No, you're really not. If anyone needs to check your privilege, I think it
It's
needs to
white
be you
females,
guys.
mate.
Yeah,
Tell you
fucking
that.
females. Check your fucking privilege.
They get so much privilege over men nowadays. It's ridiculous. I think they and to a certain extent, even in the past, they did with certain
Yeah.
aspects of life, like with like the custody of kids and things like that. That's always been a thing before, like the equality movements. Women have always had custody over their kids, and like you said, when they get divorced, if they haven't, let's say like they're a stay-at-home mum, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But when they get divorced, they still get half of the male's earnings, which is not fair. Not fair at all.
The top 5 richest women in the world right now have either inherited their money
Yeah.
from a dead relative or have been divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Bezos' wife, when they divorced, she's like she's in the top 5 richest women.
Yeah.
And she's only got her fucking wealth from Jeff Bezos.
That's fucking disgusting,
Mm.
innit? I don't agree with it personally. I think it's stupid. I just think that people just need to take a long look, like take a step back
Yeah.
at society and just
I
bloody
agree.
have a think about what's going on. But yeah,
Well,
So,
yeah.
so should we wrap it up here? It's been like 34 minutes.
Yeah,
we've been going.
let's wrap it up here.
It's a good place to leave it.
Anyway,
Alright.
good speaking to you guys. If you've got any sort of new topics or anything like that, comment down in the comment section below. Let us know. If you're new here, remember to like and subscribe.
100%, and we'll see you in the next one.
Right, take it easy.